Hey, it's Derek from the Sideshow Guys. We're back in the garage for another little video on an addition to the Honda Talon here. We'll get situated here and show you what we got going on for today. So as you've seen in one of our previous videos, I showed just a sneak peek of what's inside this box here. So we'll open it up, see what really got inside. I'll see if you guys would figure out what I actually have here. Got some plastic. Get that out of the way. Actually, we'll start with this piece here, I guess. It's all nicely packaged. We got some, I think it's 2.5 inch, maybe 3 inch boost pipe, air intake pipe from Summit Racing. So I take it you probably know it's going to go like here, and that is going to be my snorkel. So I'll show you what's involved in my snorkel system here. This is like my own kind of design. I don't buy a kit. I cut a hole in this vent here, and you can just squeeze that pipe up through there. If you cut it in the right spot, it will actually fit through there. And then this piece is cheap to replace. If you want to take a snorkel off and don't anybody know you had a snorkel on, you just buy this little piece here, this little vent, bolt it back on, take your snorkel off, all back to stock. Nobody knows you're going deep. I'll show you a few more of the parts here that we got. I'll put it in the description, a complete list of all the parts I ordered from Summit. Might even try and put a link in there as well, so you guys can order the same stuff if you're interested in doing this. This is my 90-degree elbow piece. Didn't need it as well. This one's going to be slightly different than the last one I made. I made another one on my last machine, but this one's going to be slightly different. Same idea, same kind of parts. Of course, we got some silicone rubber boots here as well. Another one there for a joiner between the two pipes. Another silicone 90, probably for the top, just so I can put that on the very top of it. Alright, one of the first things you got to do is pull this vent out of here. So I got my little tool here for pulling these pins. Works pretty good. It's a body automotive style for pulling pins. Works pretty good. There's 3 there, and I believe there's another 1 or 2 on the inside here, 2 more on the inside. If you can't find these other 2, then you shouldn't be doing this job to start with. So and just like that, you get the piece off. We'll clean that up while we got it off before we cut our hole in it. We do have to do a little trimming on this stuff to get our pipe to come up through there, but we'll get into that here shortly. This is the hole we're going down through. We got, I think on my other one I trimmed this off. Next thing we need to do is we need to take this piece here off. Again, it's nothing but push pins holds it in here. Of course, you got to do 2 of the ones out here, I believe, to get this out. Of course, this is a good hiding spot for mud and everything, so make sure you clean everything out here. You see there's a gear clamp right here. Got this weird looking intake system. Again, we got more of those push pins to pull out to get it removed, and then we'll get started. But some of these you can get at from in here as well. Let's see if this is one of the ones. Because this is part of the intake right here. You see there's a push pin there, there's a push pin here. And the other one I think is down in here, but we'll see. We'll back our gear clamp off here. And that's what we're looking to remove right there. And that's the stock weird looking intake system we got for the Honda Talon. Now we'll get working on this to make things a little easier to work with here. One more push pin right here. At least you can see this a little better now. And that'll allow us to take this off. Like so. You see we splashed a bit of water in there, so this is good that we're opening this up. We don't need this anymore. WD-40 does make a good cleaner. It's one of my secret cleaning things I use to clean things up. Works really well, as you can see here. It'll clean things right up. So my idea is, this here is all here, I think, for sound and everything, to make the intake sound a lot quieter. Still need to clean in there, but we'll do that. Just use a rag to poke that down through there, screwdriver, to get it all cleaned out. So I think it's all for sound deadening, so you don't hear the big intake sound. So our plan is, we're going to notch these two pieces here out. The support's there, we cut this off, and our thing will slide in and we clamp it to this part. Because what we're going to do is, we're going to put one of these rubber elbows on there like this. Once we get that in there the right way, and we'll clamp it around, and we'll get that sealed up, and we'll be good. These are nice silicone on the inside. They'll seal up nicely on that. No worries there. This is just my way of doing it. Still keeps all the stock intake, whatever you want to call this, in place. So everything's still stock steel here with the nub to tell you you're on straight. We do a little trim and get that out of our way. Give us a little more of a hole here. There, you should be able to see our pipe in there now. So things are starting to come together here. It's not really a tough job. You just got to make sure you got it sealed when it's all done. This is also a good time to take that off, and you'll see we have some. See, we got a bit of mud in there. Yeah, our pipe will come out through like this here. Just like that there when we get it into place. We just got a little more work to do here, and then we'll be all set. We'll have to cut this pipe as well when we get it in there and measured up, but we got to get this reinstalled now. This is a bit of a challenge to get this back in there and all the push pins back in the right locations and everything. I don't know if you can see it, but there is, up in here, there's a notch that slides into. So we'll get that like that, and we'll tighten our clamp up here. So hold it in place where we want. Make sure everything's in there tight before you tighten this down. You are relying on this seal not to leak. So I don't know, hopefully you guys can see that. That's the top of our intake that we cut off there. We'll slide this down in here. We'll slide it down over. Hopefully you guys can see that in there. We'll get this positioned up here, and we need to start working on this piece here, because we need to install it, and it's going to go in here like this, but it's too long. So somehow we've got to figure out a length on this, and then we'll have a better idea of what we need to, how much we need to cut off. Deburr that a little bit. First we'll try and slide it into our 90 here. There we go. I have one more idea here to make it fit a little bit better, because I really only need to get this clamped like right here. We're going to go down to there. I can probably take a little bit off. Now I'll let this slide down a little bit farther. And because of our web there that we cut out, this won't go down as far as I want it to go down. So this will allow us to get it a little more See, it's a little more inside there now. If we got it down just a touch more, we might be able to get that to go like that. So it's gonna look like that there. But because we're all the way in here, I gotta cut this pipe off a little more. Because I only need to go in a little bit. We're way into here. So we can cut another inch or so off of this. Hopefully without any real issues. That's looking better now. Like I said, we are trying to keep it inside the roll bar here. So now I have to cut the hole in this. So I kind of set it back in place there, and I want my hole to be like right here. So ideally I want a hole like this. So we'll kind of do another test fit here, get an idea where we're at. Like I said, we're gonna say we're right there. This is a trial and error thing. You just have to work with it. It's better to start small, and you can always open her up more and more as you need. You can't put it back on, so. Now as you can see there, we need to take more. Now hopefully that's going to sit in there like this. And my idea with this here is to maybe make a mounting bracket, and then I can put the 2 clamps on that as well to hold that. I haven't completely decided what I'm doing there yet, but we'll come up with a game plan for it though to hold it off of this bolt hole. I think now we're ready to pretty much attach that though and put our cover back on. We've got some of these clamps to go on in there, and we'll see what we can do here. As you can see, there's our thing there. So we put this clamp on like this, get that clamped around there nice. We got this clamp around here like this so we can access that screw nice and easily there, get that tightened up. Now we put that on that, we should be able to get a screwdriver straight up on here to tighten that one up. So we'll throw it on there as well right now. Now it's a matter of dropping this down through and get it in the rubber elbow. Takes a little bit of finesse. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing underneath. You got to wiggle it to get it in there. Now we should be able to put our push pins back in here. 1, 2. Now we have some clamps under here to do up. We got a light so maybe you guys can see what I'm doing. Make sure that's down where you want it. Move that around a little for because as it tightens, it's going to move around to the back side a little more. Let's start tightening our next clamp here. Let's kind of get it close. We'll make sure everything's good on the top side before we tighten it up. Make sure that's nice and tight. Fairly solid here. We're looking good. Of course, we do have a rubber that'll go on here. And we'll put our elbow on the top yet. That still has some play in it. That's what this bracket's for. Hopefully we're going to go off of there and maybe something like this here to tighten that all up. I do have a rear window here. I didn't have on my other machine, so shouldn't cause us any problems. But that's the basic install on that. I'll start working on some vent lines next. So at the back here, we got this one here, which is the rear diff, and it just goes into the tube here. As long as you stay the water like here, you're fine. There's also this vent line right in here. We'll pull it out as well because we're going to reroute it. And I believe it goes up into the frame up here, so we'll pull that out. This is for your sub transmission, so it's a little bigger. So you got your sub transmission, and this here, as you can see, it's got a little thing here. We'll extend these, we'll run them along here and up, and they will follow our snorkel up to the top of the roof, so we got no issues there. Next we'll be using one of these here to put in this line. Again, this is the rear diff line. Just put it in like that there, and we'll extend that on up. I got a little bigger one here, and hopefully this fits our other vent line, which is right here. And this is for the sub transmission. Because that's cut at an angle though, I'm going to cut it off straight, just to give it a bit better seal on it. Trim that one off. Again, we just stick this in here. You don't need any zip ties or hose clamps on these, they're just vent lines. Now these here I will bring down through the cage, right there where the cage comes through. We got lots of this line. I pulled it out, I put it in this line. It's a little harder to get in this line than the stock gray diff line here. We'll stick that back in there. And of course we'll zip tie it on the inside of this pipe here. As you can see, I like to run it behind the bar here so it's kind of out of sight. Nobody really knows what you've done. We'll zip tie it all up here and pull the extra up through. Sub transmission line, I'll run it up. It'll come across and join on as well once we get a piece of hose on that one. Got that on there as well. Of course, we got lots of hose here, so we'll try and get a measurement on what we need, and we'll cut it, go from there. So at the most I need that there, so we'll snip it right here. We will route this back the stock way. Pull all the hose up through here. I don't know how well the camera's going to get this, but I just want to have that go up like the normal way here. And there's our two rear vent lines there. Like I said, they'll go up to the roof here. Now we'll get our zip ties out and zip tie these up out of the way. Now this is the pipe I'm going to use here for my rear diff and sub transmission, and because it's white and I want to make it blend in better, I got this idea of covering it with red electrical tape. So we're going to see how this works. Hopefully they'll hide it so people won't see it very easily. I was going to paint it, but I decided against painting the pipe. I figured this might be a little more durable, a little better suited for it. The bottom of this will be hid under the plastic anyway, so you won't see it. So let's see how this here looks as I do it. You can skip this step. It doesn't have to be done. I like to keep this kind of hid that I have a snorkel on my machine. People find out you got a snorkel, they always want you to go first and find out how deep things are. So people don't know I have a snorkel, then they won't be asking me to go first. I can let them go first. That should do it right there. Hopefully that'll keep it better hid. Let's see how it looks here. The red match is pretty good. Not a bad match for the red. Now we'll get into installing this. Because I'm doing it here, I'm going to pull these lines out here. I cut them off down under here. Now hopefully you can see that what I did there. It's wrapped around the roll bar there, zip tied here to hold that facing down so we don't get water in it. It's pretty well hid here. So after that's done, we're ready to put this rear cover back on. Make sure the dirt's all out of it. Up in there like so. I'll start with all our push pins here. So that's that. We got that all back on. We still got the top of the snorkel to finish off. Rear vent lines are done. Might jump over and do the front vent lines. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to decide on how I'm going to do those next. We'll get under here and show you what vent lines we have to do under here. This one right here is your front diff right here. Hopefully you can see that on camera. This one here is for the overflow for your rad. It ties into the frame right here. There should be another one that ties in maybe behind this here. We'll have to pop these out and have a look. I don't know if you guys can see that down in there, but this is our, that's the one we're after down in there. This one here is for our fuel tank. So you don't want to forget it. That's one of the important ones to do. Hopefully, I just have it sitting there hanging now. Hopefully you can see that one. We have to extend that one up. We'll bring it up across this pipe here, up under, and we'll run it up the side. Again, you just need one of these barb fittings for it. It's a bit of a reach down in there. I think I got a stool. So we tied into our gas vent line here. And of course, we ran it over here. And we have it out over here for now. Now we're going after the front diff. I pulled it out of the frame. It's attached in the frame just on the front side here. And we'll attach that to our hose first. It should go onto the stock one a little easier, I'm hoping. It's already flared open from having the other one in it. And we'll do the same with it. We'll bring it up along here and over that corner roll cage pillar. It's a bit of a reach, but you can make it. We'll get some zip ties and run it the way we want to run it now. This one doesn't have to be done, but I'm going to do it just because I'm right here and I got a T. So I got my front diff and I'm going to do the vent line for my fan. I'm going to tie it into it as well. It's a pretty small hose, so I don't know if I'll get it to go on there or not. Here's a little trick here you can do. So that's everything done there. We can put this rubber flap back on here. Once again, kind of hide our work that nobody knows what we've done here. I do have kind of the same idea here to run these up like so. Tie them down in here behind the windshield probably. See if we can go down behind the windshield here in there. Keep that on the inside so it's all hidden. Can't see it. Hopefully that'll be the ticket to run those up there. We'll get started on that next. Once again, just a little tape job here. We'll see how this goes. If your roll cage is black, you can probably just get away with the black tubing. Attach it on there and it'll be hid because of the black. I'm only doing this because of the red roll cage to try and hide it a bit, make it not so obvious to people. So we got the gas tank vent line going over and up. We got the front diff and the fan tied together. I didn't do this one here. It's tied into the frame. It's pretty good. A little bit of dirt or something gets into the coolant tank. It's fine. Not too worried about that. They come over here. They go up through these two lines here. As you can see, I did them in red. They tie up. The one ties in here. The other one goes up and over. And the end of it is right here. We just have it kind of tucked out of the way so you can't really see it there. And if water splashes on it, can't come in. So in a little wrap up of what all we've done here, like I said, we got the rear diff line here. We spiced it together with another hose. We got the sub transmission line in here. We ran it up. They come up the inside here. We tied them together into a single line. It goes all the way up to my roof. Zip tied over under there. You can see that. We got our 2.5 inch boost pipe. I think it's actually 3 inch boost pipe here. We coupled it together. We put a 90 on the top here. That tied into the stock intake that we cut the top off of. Up at the front, we ran, we'll pop the hood off here. On the front, this one here, down in here is the vent line for the fuel tank. We have the front diff. We'll see if we can get this on camera. We got the front diff as well as the vent line for the fan motor tied together, teed together. It runs over under here and they go up here. There's two separate lines here. You can see them. I taped them red so they don't show up as well. They go right up to the top of the roll cage here. You got the coolant overflow bottle here. It goes up and it just ties in the frame. I'm not too concerned about that. It's tied in the inside of this pipe. If you get a little dirt in this overflow tank here, no big worries. There is one other little thing that I do. Some people like it, some people don't. Down on this side, I don't know how well you can see in here, but you have this line right here. That's your weep line for your water pump. I capped the end of it. You should check it every now and then to see if your water pump seal's leaking. This is a new machine, so I'm not worried. We capped that off just to keep dirt from mud from going in and getting to the seal on the other side. It's not necessary, but it is kind of good insurance. So that's kind of a wrap up on our Honda Talon snorkel kit. Like I said, we'll put hopefully put the list of the summit parts that I ordered, the boost pipe and the elbows and stuff needed. All the vent lines, you can just get them Canadian Tire, Home Depot, Lowe's, anywhere. A lot of the car places have the vent line hose you can use, and get the couplers in there to spice them together to extend them up. So hope you liked this video, and if you did, leave a like. If you didn't like anything I did, or you question anything, just leave a question in the comments. I'll reply to you, get back to you. Maybe you got some different ideas on how to do this. Like I said, leave them in the comments. So thanks for watching. Let's keep this channel growing. We'll be having some more Polaris and Honda content on here. So like I said, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.